Hi there, and welcome to episode 9 of the VictorPrep Vocab podcast. I'm Sam, and let's go over the previous episode's words. That's episode 8. The words were bombastic, impermeable, jargon, and sardonic. Bombastic, that means high-sounding or inflated speech. You could say it was pretentious, but in fact, the actual meaning deep down is a bit empty, or you can tell that the person is talking themselves up a little bit. They're trying to sound pompous or well-spoken or full of high meaning, but in fact, they're not really that way. It's a bit fake or false. Impermeable, that means impassable or not permeable, not allowing something through, often fluid. It also means not liable to be affected by pain or distress. Jargon. Jargon is the language or the vocabulary that's peculiar to a particular trade or job or even a group of people. Sardonic, that means sarcastic or scornful. Some synonyms for sardonic are sarcastic, biting, mordant, or even contemptuous. Those are our 4 words from last time. I hope you got them all. As always, it's not a big deal if you don't. There's no use in putting pressure on yourself or making yourself feel bad. If you make yourself feel bad, you're only going to find it harder to learn the words, because it's well known amongst educators. I'm not saying I'm a particularly good educator, but I've read studies about this that suggest that the more stressed you are or the more worried you are about something, the harder it is to learn. So I just want to reiterate to you guys, just try and relax, listen to the podcasts, definitely invent your own sentences and try and have fun with it. The funner you make this, the funner your example sentences are, or the examples you make up in your head are, the better you'll remember this. So, saying that, let's go over our 4 new words. Our new words for this time are monastic, pervade, dyspeptic, and assuage. So, the first word, monastic. That's M-O-N-A-S-T-I-C, monastic. Now, monastic sounds very much like monastery. It also starts with the same letters as the word monk. There are clues. Monastic is very much related to monks and monasteries, because monastic means almost like living like a monk. You could say, I live in a monastic way because I live a very simple life. I don't spend a lot of money. I live like a monk. Because if you know what a monk is, someone living in a monastery, living their life under religious vows, they obviously don't spend any money, they live simply, they eat simple food, they don't live a lavish lifestyle, they have no TV, and so on. So that is what monastic means. So it means a simple life, it means austere, that's a synonym, or simple, solitary, celibate, or even quiet. A quiet life is a monastic life. So if you know the word for monk, that's a clue. Monk, monastic, monastery. There are all ways in which you can remember the word monastic. My example sentence is, when I was a student, I spent most of the time completely broke. I had no money. Consequently, I lived a fairly monastic life. You can also think of one of those hermits that live in the hills, who lives off the land, lives off water from a stream, eats berries and nuts he finds. You could describe this hermit as living a monastic life. Our second word is pervade. That's P-E-R-V-A-D-E, pervade. Now, to pervade means simply to spread throughout all parts of something. So, this is classically used for a smell. A smell can pervade the house. So if you remember when you were a kid, perhaps, or maybe you are a kid still or a child, and you come home from school and you can smell your mum or your dad's cooking, that smell has pervaded through the house. A couple of synonyms for that are to diffuse or to fill. So, to pervade means to spread, to fill something. So if something is spreading throughout something else, that is pervading. So if you're having trouble remembering this one, you could think of invade. Pervade sounds a bit like invade. And it also means something similar too. Invade, if you think of an army invading a country, that army is spreading throughout that country, they're invading the country. Pervade means something similar. If you followed the world of physics or science, you might have heard of something called dark matter. Now, dark matter is said to be spread throughout the entire universe. So you could say the universe is pervaded by dark matter. That dark matter is spread throughout the universe. Our third word is dyspeptic. Dyspeptic. That's dyspeptic. Dyspeptic. Now, dyspeptic means having indigestion or, as a result of perhaps indigestion, irritability or depression. So this is usually used to describe a person, as in, this person is dyspeptic, and that means they're pessimistic, they're usually grumpy or irritable, they get angry very easily, they're gloomy about life. It's the opposite of a person who's very cheerful. So, again, your synonyms for this are gloomy, irritable, moody, pessimistic. Everyone knows a person who is a bit dyspeptic. Every time you see them, they're grumpy, they're only complaining about things. I'm quite a cheerful person myself, but if I am very short on sleep or extremely hungry, I can get a little dyspeptic. The origin of this word is quite interesting. It comes from Greek, meaning literally hard to digest. So if you think of something that's hard to digest, if something's hard to digest, it often is going to make you feel bad on the inside. You get indigestion, and you feel grumpy, you feel moody, you are feeling dyspeptic. Our fourth and final word today is assuage. Assuage. That is spelled A-S-S-U-A-G-E. Assuage. Now, assuage quite simply means to make less strong, to make less severe, or to make milder, to ease, or to mitigate. Generally that means to make something unpleasant or something bad less intense. So, if you have a bad headache or a bad stomachache, and you take a pill, you take some medicine, that medicine is going to assuage that feeling of hurt that you feel. An example of this word is, this is true actually. I was afraid of the dark when I was a child, but my mother tried to assuage my fears by giving me a book called The Owl Who Was Afraid of the Dark. That's a great book, by the way. So, assuage, again, here are some synonyms: to relieve, to ease, to alleviate, to soothe, perhaps even to palliate. So, think of something that's nasty or hurts or feels bad, and then think of someone who's trying to make you feel better. They're trying to ease your fears or calm you down. They're trying to assuage that bad feeling, assuage your pain. I don't really have any good tricks for remembering this one, but I did think of assuage sounding a bit like assist. So someone trying to assuage your pain is trying to help you, they're trying to assist you, maybe. Now, as always, I'm going to go over 4 sentences that each refer to the meaning of the words that we've gone over today, but without using those particular words. The reason I do this is to get you to really think about the meaning of the sentences and the meaning of the words. because you're not going to be able to identify the word associated with each sentence unless you really understand the meaning of the word. Here we go. When I was traveling through the desert, I met a very humble man who lived in a hut he built himself and lived only on food he grew or harvested himself. There was a forest fire near where we lived, and acrid burning smoke spread all across the nearby towns. It was all we could smell for a week. Some time ago, I had an infection in my leg, caused by a spider bite. The nurse had to give me some opiate injections to help me with the pain. After eating some bad takeaway food, my friend was moody and irritable all evening. That's our episode for today. Thank you very much. I've gotten a few super kind emails recently from people who I've been helping, I think. So that's super great. I know there were at least a couple of people who are listening and think I'm doing a good job. So that's amazing and makes me so incredibly happy, and also gives me a lot of motivation to keep making podcasts and to hopefully keep getting better and keep taking the advice of some of the guys who have emailed me and given me various bits of advice for making the podcast better. So keep giving me feedback, keep letting me know how it's going. I really and truly appreciate it. It's why I'm doing this. I want to help people, and I want to improve people's chances at getting good grades in their exams, or helping them learn a new language if they're someone from another country who's trying to learn English. That's what this is about. So thank you all. Thank you so much. Please get in touch with me at samfold on Twitter, or just send me an email at sam.fold@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.